So TRISHA Paytas and Sophia with an F are in some drama right now, and it's gotten pretty blown out of proportion. So in a recent podcast episode, Sophia had a take that led to TRISHA Paytas coming out to speak out on it. Sophia did not like what TRISHA did, so she went off on her. And now TRISHA is coming out to respond on her podcast. There was a clip trending from Sophia's podcast episode with Kalani from Dance Moms. They were talking about mental health, and Sophia said that she loves her mental illness. And that clip went very viral on TikTok.
I love my mental illness.
Me too.
My mental illness literally makes me me. I don't get.
There were plenty of people who stitched the clip and had a lot to say about it, and one person who spoke out on it was TRISHA. She made a TikTok where she stitched the clip and talked about how she felt about the clip and her own mental health experiences.
Love my mental illness.
Me too.
My mental illness literally makes me me.
Okay, no hate to those two girls, but for those of us who don't love our mental illness, this one's for you. So I feel like it's great that mental illness is like normalized and talked about, and just like so many more people are coming forward with their mental health struggles. Like that's super, but it can be discouraging when it gets like so glamorized, or it looks like people are functioning so easy and you're not. You're like, okay, well, I have this mental illness, but I can't even get out of bed, and these people are thriving. They look great. And maybe they just have a better handle on their mental health. Maybe they got like treated. Maybe they've been practicing longer how to take care of their mental health. Like there's probably a million reasons, but it's totally normal to not want to get out of bed. It's totally normal to slip back into it, even if you are taking care of your mental health. So for those people who genuinely love their mental illness, you know, I'm happy for you, but I don't love mine, and that's okay. But you can have a really fulfilling, successful life full of love and happiness and still have bad days. And that doesn't take away your mental illness, but it's just learning to manage it, and there's always bad days with that, so give yourself some grace. I don't know who needed to hear this. I don't know, maybe I needed to hear it for myself, but sometimes I'm just like, I wish I had a normal brain.
It seemed like TRISHA was just giving her 2 cents on a different perspective than Sophia's, and it didn't seem like she was coming for her. It seemed like TRISHA was just being honest about her mental health struggles, and like she was just making sure that other people feel better and not feel bad about themselves for not loving their mental illness like Sophia. And it's not a bad thing that Sophia loves her mental illness. It's just most people don't, and that's okay and normal, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. But Sophia did not agree, and she responded to TRISHA's video, and she was not nice, and she really came at TRISHA. And some people are even wondering if she even watched TRISHA's video, because what she said was so out of pocket.
My mental illness literally makes me me.
Okay, no hate to those two girls.
Okay, no hate to electrocuted hair girl, but I just think it's a little bit damaging to tell people how they should or should not express their own mental illness.
TRISHA wasn't even coming for Sophia, but Sophia still took it personal and was offended. TRISHA really just offered a different perspective as to what Sophia said in her podcast, and Sophia took it really personal. Like, it more seemed like TRISHA was just putting a general statement out there rather than responding to Sophia directly. But Sophia was still super defensive. People in the comments of Sophia's TikTok were really calling her out. They were telling her to delete this TikTok. She's a mean girl. TRISHA's coming from a good place. This was a bad take, and so on. Even Brooke Schofield, who has said many times that she is Team TRISHA, had something to say about it in Sophia's comment section. Brooke commented, "Bestie, I'm confused. I do not think we watched the same video. What is this? Ha ha ha." And both TRISHA and Sophia did end up deleting their TikToks. But TRISHA did recently come out onto her podcast to talk about the whole Sophia situation.
So there was this viral sound from Sophia with an S podcast.
That I saw everywhere.
Everyone was stitching it with Kalani Hilliker.
Yes.
From Dance Moms.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having a discussion about mental illness. Mm-hmm. And their take on it was, I'm thankful for my mental illness because it kind of makes me who I am.
But it wasn't even that. It was like, I love my mental illness.
Yes,
and so that's why I was like, okay, wow. Like that's... And I saw it everywhere, and I didn't reply for so long because I was like, okay, it's cute, and it's a cute way to cope with it or handle it, making jokes about it or actually loving it. But I was having a down day. I was having a down day. And you see stuff like this, and you're like, God, I wish I could be these people who love it, that can because they look like they're functioning, and I'm seeing something surface level on a podcast, right? You're like, oh, you see these like beautiful girls and they're functioning, and it's just like the way I deal with stuff always is TikTok. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should put a message out for people who like don't feel like this all the time, or don't feel like this at the moment. And maybe they don't feel like that all the time, but it's like I kept seeing that clip and I was like, let me just like stitch this, because I talk about mental health a lot. And I did make sure to start off like right away, because I think whenever someone stitches, like it's really important. I love when people say like there's no hate to these specific people. I would never, especially like girls coming for girls, like never that, because it's like not even about them. It's about like what is happening with me right now watching this.
Trisha got pretty emotional when talking about what happened, and she even apologizes to Sophia for her initial response to her. Trisha says that she wasn't originally going to talk about it on her podcast, and she instead wanted to stitch Sophia's video or leave a comment to apologize, but she didn't want to sound condescending, so she did not. But she really wanted to apologize. She also says that she didn't want to make a stitch and then have it go back and forth and make it seem like they're fighting, because she really did feel bad. She didn't see this as her and Sophia were fighting. She just saw this as a simple mistake.
So it's like, so first of all, I almost was going to stitch back, and I was just going to be like, I almost going to leave a comment, but also I don't, sometimes comments get misconstrued, or you can sound like you're being condescending, and I didn't want that, because I really was going to like apologize, because I was like, she obviously like either really hated what I had to say, really hated me, or really just got on the defense, which I totally get too. Sometimes you don't even watch something, and you just get on the defense. So I really was going to like apologize, to be like, maybe I shouldn't have stitched that. Maybe I should have just said my piece without stitching that. It's just, I just saw it over and over on TikTok. So I was like, this is like a thing to stitch. So I really was going to like apologize and like tell her like it was not, and Sophia, if you're watching this, like clip it, whatever. Like it was never about you.
Trisha goes on to say that she loves and adores Sophia and thinks she's amazing, and she really hypes her up. She says that what she did was never an attack on Sophia, and she's really sorry.
I actually like love, adore you. I always talk like positively about you. Like the Aubrey O'Day interview was wild with you. Like you handle yourself really good in situations. And I'm like, the fact that you like did a spinoff after Call Her Daddy and that whole thing, like it's amazing. Like I love you. So I was like, and I love that you love your mental illness. I love that you talk about mental illness, because you are like a conventionally beautiful girl, and you're talented and successful. And like, that's, I think, great that you talk about it to show that everyone has mental illness and all that stuff like that. So it was never like an attack on you. Like, I'm so sorry.
Trisha also talks about how she cried when she saw Sophia's TikTok, especially with the electrocuted hair girl comment. Trisha was extremely embarrassed by the attack on her hair, and she was just overall embarrassed about the situation. But Trisha is really grateful that the comments on Sophia's video were really nice towards Trisha, and that even Brooke defended her as well.
I cried, and I never cry, and like it's not her. I'm not saying that she's being a mean girl, but it was just like one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know, it kind of transported me back to like, I think because my hair is a trigger, and this sounds like so stupid. It sounds so dumb. But when I was like a kid, like people made fun of my hair all the time because I just never had like smooth hair. I never had, when we would take showers in gym or go to the pool or whatever like that, you'd have to dry your hair naturally because you don't have a blow dryer. And everyone's hair would dry like so silky straight, and mine was like very wavy and like textured, and people like made fun of my hair so much, and they would always say that specific joke, like it looks like you stuck your finger in a socket. I think she said something like electrocuted hair or something like that. And I don't know what it was, but I just immediately was like, gosh, you think that you get to an age and like a stage in life, and I always talk about this being like in my mid-30s with a baby, and like I don't really care what anyone says about me, but it's like, gosh, that's the attack still. It's like, and this gets so deep, and it's really not even about Sophia. It's really just like the comment that like my daughter grows up in that way, and there's people that are going to make fun of like her hair and stuff. I don't know. It's just like something you can't control. And I've had like postpartum hair loss. Like it's bad. I don't know.
People are actually in full support of Trisha, and most people think that what Sophia did was very mean girl behavior. And people also think that Trisha handled herself very well. We're used to Trisha flying off the handle and going off on people so intensely, but this wasn't that. But I'm sure Sophia knows about that behavior from Trisha, so maybe she's just used to that typical behavior from her of calling people out and going off on them. And maybe Sophia just wasn't having it and didn't bother watching Trisha's video and just got super defensive. She probably saw that Trisha stitched the TikTok, and without watching what Trisha had to say, she just wanted to shut Trisha down quickly. Because there's absolutely no way that Sophia would watch Trisha's TikTok in full and still have the reaction that she did. But Sophia's been getting a lot of hate comments on her recent posts, most of them commenting on her hair or calling her a mean girl. But like I said, Trisha and Sophia deleted their original TikToks. And I do wonder if Sophia will now respond to Trisha's response to her, responding to her. Responding to her? But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this entire situation in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next video.